Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a short and speculative video for you about Nazi zombies in Call of Duty World War II. One of the things that I find so very strange about this is that the mention at the reveal was very brief. The mention is very brief when you're reading online, and there's only sparse bits of information about it in press releases and official descriptions, and pretty much anywhere you want to look. What I find even weirder is that SledgeHammer Games is pretty much refusing to say the word zombies, even though it was very clearly a zombie image that they revealed at the reveal, as you can clearly see here on the screen. That is obviously a zombie, and they talked about the story being, well, it takes place at the end of World War II when the Third Reich is trying to build a new army, and they're of course referencing the Nazi occult experiments, and even our YouTuber host, John, or Mr. Dalek JD, who is a huge zombies YouTuber, wouldn't outright say, well, that looks like a zombie for me. It was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting co-op mode. And that's just so strange and alien because it's so clearly a zombie, and they've been pushing this sort of unnamed co-op mode. We have a co-op experience. We have a unique co-op mode. And I hear the word unnamed co-op and unique so many times, it's starting to kind of make my head spin. And I'm starting to think that unique might not be the same thing as CoD Zombies, or whatever we're going to get might not be Nazi Zombies, it might not be CoD Zombies, or Extinction, or any of the other sort of horde modes that we're familiar with, or at least it's almost certainly not going to be Treyarch Zombies. I know that Treyarch takes great pride in their zombies experience. The zombies section of the Black Ops games have been growing faster than the multiplayer, and they're core and fundamental to those game experiences. Maybe Treyarch is pushing back because other studios are trying to claim the Zombies brand is theirs, but then that wouldn't really line up with what I see as more of a franchise consolidation around zombies and not other things, especially with the IW Zombies. And I don't want you to forget that SledgeHammer Games used to be Visceral Games, which is most famous for the Dead Space series, fantastic series if you haven't played them, though personally I also enjoyed Dante's Inferno and Road Rash, and on stage you see Glenn Schofield talking about how they haven't made a horror game in a long time and how it's definitely going to be scary and how they're going to be amping up the fear factor and all that sort of stuff. And the emphasis was that it's going to be scary as opposed to Infinity Wards and occasionally Treyarch's more silly maps, which I like. I like the scary zombies better than the silly ones, though Zombies in Spaceland I do have a soft spot for. And my personal guess on this, there's no secret information here, there's no leaks, this is just me spitballing, is that SledgeHammer Games doesn't want to be pigeonholed to zombies only. They're a studio that takes great pride in their innovation, thus they did the jetpack thing for AW. They had Chaos mode for AW. They even seemed somewhat reluctant to do the Zombies mode for Advanced Warfare, and if I had to bet, if I just was at a casino and I had to put down, you know, these sort of crazy long bets, I would bet that they're coming up with an alternative experience that has zombies in it, kind of like Infinity Ward did with Extinction, which we thought were aliens but turned out to be cryptids, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of strange. I would imagine they're talking about this co-op campaign, this co-op story, this co-op experience, and they're not saying zombies, they're not saying round, they're not saying survival or horde mode or anything else. So I'm really guessing more of a playthrough story, like a second campaign or an Extinction kind of thing. And I personally didn't like the enemies in Extinction. The way they looked and moved was a little bit strange, but the bosses were very fun, and Extinction had some very nice things in it that they didn't get credit for at Infinity Ward. They had player progression, levels, unlocks, kits, and all those sort of things and specialties before Treyarch really took off on it on Black Ops 3. And I did enjoy playing through the Extinction story like campaign levels. I found that to be a little bit more fun than the endless rounds and the infinite, excruciatingly slow Easter eggs, which weren't fun. It was nice to just kind of play through and survive, but I know many of you disagree. I know the majority of fans truly enjoy the zombies experience and the Easter egg stories and that sort of thing. So when it comes right down to it, I'm going to bet we're going to get a second Zombies campaign that's more like an Extinction or like that, whatever they did for Halo 4, where they had that additional campaign that came after. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going to bet on. Guys, that's all for this short and speculative video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.